Thank you all for being here today. Kurve Therapeutics does neurodegenerative diseases. As he mentioned, we are one of the rare companies that are phase 3 ready. We have the ability to get the drugs into the nose, into the brain through the nose is something we have figured out now. And the first thing we want to get through to everybody here is that can you actually do it? Because this bypassing of the blood-brain barrier is an important piece of everything we do. And the patient on the left here is looking to the left, and you can see that we have this great big bulge right at the olfactory region at the top, and then there's a separation and the drug gets into the brain. We do a really good job of getting it into the frontal part of the brain, and you have this patient looking straight at you, so you can see how much we've actually gotten in there. We actually have 18 peer reviews on our work nose to brain. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, multisystem atrophy, et cetera, et cetera. We have a ton of data, okay? So it's a heavy slog. We're not gonna go into a ton of that, but we have a lot of it. So anybody who wants to follow up and wants to see what we've got and how many people we've tested, we're separating from placebo. One of those peer reviews is the most cited one in anything to do with the CNS nose to brain in the world right now. Alzheimer's disease is our lowest hanging fruit. We've gone through phase 1, 2, and 2B. We are phase 3 ready. The FDA has already accepted a 300 patient, 20 site study. We're here today to get that money to be able to do that. To put this in perspective, we're running some testing in Southern California with a neurologist named William Schenkel. He's a brilliant guy, and he has a polyclonal antibody he wants to deliver. It is very similar to GammaGuard and IgG, and sort of similar to Aduhelm, which Biogen was trying to launch. But what he was doing is he was doing it with infusions. And infusions are getting 0.1% in the brain. We're not crossing the blood-brain barrier, we're bypassing it. So we get 3,000% more in the brain. So we don't have to make a dose so toxic that it's gonna cause problems. We have tremendous dose flexibility. These are all the things we've delivered to the brain. We're the only technology we're aware of that has actually delivered everything intact, including the nanoparticles. Stem cells is larger because we're about to announce our success in treating glioblastoma. So our only diversion from CNS has been brain tumors. And we did the stem cells with a company out of Tel Aviv, and they shrank the tumor by 50%. So we're going to be moving ahead with that. Everything else is neurodegenerative. But it's quite a few. The only thing we haven't done is live vaccines and the nerve vaccines. These are the things that we have in process right now. So we're doing Parkinson's, we're doing ALS and autism and Lewy body. Traumatic brain injury is a very big market. We're doing that with the Department of Defense, so we're working with the Army to do that. Alzheimer's is our lowest hanging fruit. But the purpose of this slide is to let you know that if we're successful with Alzheimer's, that's enough, right? It's a big enough market for us to do that. We've already been successful where the patients are separating from placebo. But if anybody is here to invest in companies, we want that to be us because you get everything else too, right? So there's a lot going on, and we want to be at the center of CNS therapies. We also have new intellectual property. If you don't know who Giroux is, you should be ashamed of yourself. So what we're trying to think of now is how else can we do it? Actually, I don't want to start that yet. As you saw, we could do a really good job of getting drugs into the frontal lobe. But what happens if the tumor's in the back of the head, or there's another neurodegenerative disease that needs it somewhere else, which many do? Well, we could actually accommodate that now. So if the tumor in red is in the back of the brain and we're delivering to the front, we then move it and we then drop the drug right on top of the tumor. Okay? So we can do this because we're not in the bloodstream. We're also not in the cell. We're in the extracellular position in the brain. So it has an opportunity to move. And what we're going to do is create a nanosphere that is going to encapsulate the drug, stay in that until it gets to the site it needs to get to, then it's going to dissolve and release the drug. The brainstem is a target that we get calls on probably 3 times a month. Can you do this for Parkinson's? Can you get to the brainstem for multisystem atrophy? We always said, no, we can't. Now we can. And a lot of the work we did with Dr. Schenkel has helped us fine tune that. The ability to do this is comprising of biology, chemistry, and physics. So we've learned a lot over the last 10 years of how to get things in the brain. We know what works well, what does not, and we can move it around and make it that much more dynamic. Okay? We want to do partnerships with Big Pharma. There are 600 neurodegenerative diseases out there. We're only going to be able to do 3 or 4 of those in sequence. We can't do them in parallel. So we definitely want to have pharma partners. And we're going to have a razor blade model where that base unit you see is the patient keeps that forever. When the cartridge empties, you simply throw it away, put a new one on, and we own that patient. The only way they can get it is by using this device. Any pharma partners out there that want to partner with us, your drug is going to be in good hands. They can only get it if they use your drug. Every device we make has electronics in it. And this is another piece that pleases our big pharma partners, and that is you can do compliance monitoring, right? You can take your device into the doctor, he plugs it into his computer, and it tells him everything you're doing with the device. It all does this passively. We can also dose count. We can have dose alerts, pings your phone, tells you it's time to take a dose. And it's all done in these little tiny packages. And we can customize it to whatever it is our partner wants, and we can actually build in whatever we want, including an interactive screen where you can actually get tutorials. We have a very deep team. Everybody's been doing this for more than 20 years. Tom McDowell has been with us for 14. Glenn and I are here right now. Herman Planck is famous for manufacturing, so he's there because we want to let our partners know we have the expertise to manufacture in high volume. Okay, so we're targeting 50 million. Okay, so 25 million is what we've been quoted to run the phase 3. But we have a polyclonal antibody for Parkinson's, that's our Genotope product. This is one of ours. And then we have all these opportunities to out-license to pharma partners. So if you are a funding partner who has pharma partners that could use this kind of technology, that's a conversation we're supposed to have. We did launch a Regulation A+, but the venture capital, private equity, and hedge funds we want to talk to as well. And Reg A+ allows for us to do special terms. We have the Main Street investor that we want to be able to work with through Reg A. But if there's the special terms we need for private equity or venture capital, we can do that. We can run it in parallel, and we can get a Reg D as well. So there's not a conversation that should not happen because we launched a Reg A+. This is still a conversation we want. Okay, so to summarize, we've got the most versatile technology platform out there. We've already proven that we can get drugs into the brain. We're going to start moving them around. And we've pretty much nailed any formulation. We're the only company we're aware of to have never failed to deliver the molecule intact and to put it where we say. The design flexibilities are real easy. For Alzheimer's, you use a device this big for 1 minute a day, twice a day. It's actually 30 seconds in the morning, 30 seconds in the evening, and that's it. When this is empty, you throw it away, pop a new one on, and we have 200 patients in compassionate use that will testify to that, and we have a lot of those testimonials as well. 0. So, thank you.